Informer, your record break, your record scratch, or is it me?
No, I felt that way as well.
Okay.
So I was thinking it was my network. Good evening, everybody. It's so good to see you today. Happy International Women's Day to the ladies.
Hey.
You are appreciated.
Thank
You
you.
are celebrated.
Of course, we're
Yes,
women.
sir.
You are superhumans.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So today on Oche Kitchen, we are looking into the ladies. In honor of International Women's Day, we have chosen a topic for today's show, and it is: what progress have we seen on women, peace, and security? To be honest with you, you cannot overemphasize the importance of women. Women are the backbone of families and communities. They provide care, support, they nurture, and they are essential to the development of children. Women
Yes, sir.
also play a significant role in community building. So now women leave the home and still build the community. I remember when I was growing up, when my mom is coming back from work as a teacher, the children on the street start to conform.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? So, if you as a child come back to say, oh, this person's mother beats me, there's no two ways about it. The question is, what did you do? Because my mom would always say to you, as an adult, you would only beat a child if you are crazy. So if you get beaten outside, you better shut up, because when you come home, you will get extra. That is to show
Exactly.
you how far women go in community building.
Yes,
And
sir.
again, without women, as far as I'm concerned, Benson, no offense, you are our man, but I just want to tell you that without us, nothing is possible for you guys.
He
And
won't
Ginkgo,
be. He won't even be here.
you cannot spell hero without her. You know that?
Yeah. He
Right.
won't even be here. Yeah.
So our contribution is everywhere, from giving birth to caring for the child, caring for the family, caring for the community. And anywhere there's a woman, you can be sure of warmth.
Yes.
So that takes us to the very first question for today. And I would like to ask Esther. Esther, how are you doing? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Good to see you. I'm so happy to have you on the show. And I would like to ask you this question. What can you do to promote women's safety in the workplace and in the home?
Women's safety.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the workplace, like obviously, well, actually, my team is mostly women anyway, so we always check in with each other in the morning. Yeah, we have a team of women. We check in the morning with each other, how we're doing. We chat about our weekends, how things has been, just because it allows us to then, know how the week is. Because if somebody's not feeling too great, or hasn't had a good week, then we know,
Yes.
how to just manage them. So that's what we do. We have a check-in every morning, but like on a Monday mornings, we have a very good chat just to clear everything and who's sick and who's not sick and who's not had a good rest. So yeah, we get that start sorted out for the week. And then we just manage our caseload. And then if, you have to take some responsibility for somebody because they're not having a good week, you just do that. And also, like, with work, if you go and see someone in their home and stuff, you have to call in to check in one another just to make sure you're safe. So, I mean, I would say, I think that's something you should do, regardless whether you're a man is in a team or a woman. But I think with women, it's important to understand that, you're going out into community, into someone's house. We need to know that you're okay. So we'd be like, when you get there, you call the person and say, oh, I'm just there. And when you're finished, you call and say, I'm finished. And then we'll give you like a certain time. If like an hour, the person doesn't call back, you'll be ringing them just to check if they're okay. and we've got like work policies about, you know, safety things. So we do that. And also like even just when we finish work, sometimes, you know, I know we're working from home, but we're still checking with each other. And when we don't work from home and we're in the office, it's if you're leaving, you know, you get home, you just call the other person or text them and say, oh, I'm just at home, because you just never know, you know, you got to keep each other safe and, you know, be like your, you know, your brethren or your sisters, and, you know, your sister's keeper, just to keep that's the sort of standards going. And when you talk about in terms of the home, you know, I have 2 girls who are you know, they're adults now. From 18 onwards, they're adults now. So I guess, you know, it's about them also teaching them about being safe. And sometimes with young women, especially being a parent, you know, when you say to them about, oh, let me know where you're going, or when you finish work, and they think sometimes it's coming from a place of like you're checking up on them, but actually letting them know that, you know, I'm not checking up on you. I just want to make sure you're safe. You know, I can't go to sleep if I'm not sure that, you know, you've reached where you are. Or, you know, so that's kind of thing. And I think once you have that kind of conversation, let them know that, you know what, it's not really that I want to know where you are. I just want to make sure you're safe so that I can go to sleep. I mean, there's been occasions when I've gone out and my phone's dead and my kids like are getting in and they're like, Mom, and I'm like, this is what I've been going through with you. When you go out and I get stressed and I don't know where you are, you know, and actually, not to say that's a good thing to happen, but it made them realize that, you know what, we all get worried when we don't know where someone is, you know. So those kind of things we do. And even with my parents, up to now, they've trained me that way as a child. So now even me, I don't need to tell them where I'm going. I don't need to let them know what's going on, but I always do, you know, or my sister. There's always somebody that I always let know what I'm doing, because I feel like, you know, we have to do that. And I think the more that we kind of create that environment that you have to have somebody to know where you're going, I think then it's that being safety aware that, you know what, anything can happen to any of us, regardless whether you're a woman or a man. But just to be more safer, you need to do that. I mean, look at that Sarah, you know, that thing that happened to her, that she got, you know, killed and raped by that police officer. I mean, these are the things. But because her family knew how she is, that she always, you know, lets people know where she is. As soon as they didn't hear from her, they were worried and they raised alarm, you know. So these are the things that we need to kind of be aware that, you know, we have to let people know where we're going. It's not that they, you know, they want to be nosy or, you know, in our business, but we just have to do it for our own safety.
Make sure that the person is safe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
That's it. It comes from a place of love and concern. Yeah. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
OJ, can I say something? Esther, you've talked a lot about protecting women or putting measures to protect women from outsiders. How about from people within? Now, within the workplace, fellow colleagues, what if they are the one causing harm? Or and even at home, throw some light on that as well. Yeah,
I mean, like we said, you know, threats can come from anywhere. So, for example, if it's coming from your colleague, you know, you need to report it. And, you know, for me, I don't feel like anyone is exempt. For example, if my husband or my children or anyone is threatening me and putting my safety, this thing, I will take the necessary action that has to be taken, because you have to safeguard yourself. You know, so when we talk about like women violence in the home and stuff like that, and even parental violence, sometimes your kids can, you know, the kids that are threatening towards the, you know, the home. So you have to do what you have to do. Sometimes I feel like something with women, we take in a lot, because it might be fear out of shame, you know, because we might internalize like, okay, if my husband is, you know, mistreating me or my kids are doing something, if I tell other people, they might think,
because they tell us it's normal. Yeah,
it's culture, but it's also like, I feel like we feel like if we say, people are going to look at us like, well, you must be doing something wrong. Like you might not, you know, you're not doing something right, and they'll blame it on you. So therefore you don't feel like the need to come out with it. But I feel like as women, if we talked about these things, and I think what I love about social media, I know we probably might come to that, is that it's thrown up, it's highlighted a lot of issues that goes on in the home with women. And I think with that, women are becoming more, we are connected to each other, and we're realizing that, you know what, this goes on, it's been going on in each other's homes, we just don't talk about it. But actually when we talk about it, we realize that, you know what, no one is exempt from this, and therefore we can draw strength from each other, and we can make the difficult decision. Sometimes you have to make the difficult decisions, and you need people to be there and to kind of hold your hands and see you through it. So definitely.
Yeah, because if I can add, OJ, because we have to unlearn certain things and relearn certain things, like what she said. You know what I mean? We're used to, oh, if something is going wrong, oh, keep mute, don't say. That's how marriage is. That's how, yes, or your grandmother went through that, your grandfather, your great grandfather, you know what I mean? And telling us those things are not normal. Those things are not
They're
normal.
not
So we have,
normal.
So when
and they're
you
not,
see
it
something, you
affects,
say
yeah,
something.
yes. And women are known to keep things inside,
Mm-hmm.
bottle things, suffer. If you look at most times, if our, like culturally, if our men marry people that are not Nigerians, the women are treated differently because they know they can take the shit that we take. So I
Yes.
think we have to unlearn that it's okay for not take, certain behaviors, and relearn that this is okay. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that.
Okay, thank you. So when Esther spoke, what I gathered was, first of all, they try to be sure that their colleagues are mentally okay by
Yes.
finding out how their weekends were and all
Yes.
that. And then if they are out there, they also try to find out if they are safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Coming back to my question of what you would do to make sure that someone in the workplace is safe. We know that a lot of women are harassed in the workplace.
Yeah.
It could be verbal abuse. It could be physical. When I mean physical, you go to drop a file and someone grabs you from behind.
Sexual.
Sexual abuse. So what do you think? And I would like somebody that just came in to tell me what he thinks. Wilson, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening.
You know,
Welcome,
yesterday was
Wilson.
our day, and this show is in honor of International Women's Day. So I had asked my question before you came in, but I would like you to throw some light on it if you don't mind. Okay. So Esther had given a response and it was very good, but I would like from a man's perspective. And that's why I want to ask you, what can you do, or not necessarily what can you do? Yeah, what can you do to promote women's safety in the workplace and in the home?
In the workplace and in the home.
Yeah. Even if it is not something that is ongoing, what would be your suggestion? What would you think that people are not doing right, or what would you want people to start doing to guarantee our safety in the workplace?
Oh, a lot of things, because sincerely, women are treated badly, especially in Nigeria. I had a case where I was working. I think somebody, a male friend, my colleague, was harassing a female because she came late. I think just like 2 minutes late. I told him, allow this girl. She had to, she slashed the girl wage. Now, this thing was happening last 2 months.
Wow.
People, sincerely, I feel for women. I really feel
Do
for them.
you think he'll do the same thing to a male colleague who came 2 minutes late?
No, not at all. Not at all. And I finally found out that she was asking the girl out.
And she knows
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
And
retaliation.
the girl refused. So she was trying everything to nail her down.
Okay.
I don't know if you get me. Sincerely,
Yes.
women are passing through a lot. I pity for women, really. Sincerely.
So with the example you gave us, and you saw that happen, what was your reaction? At least towards your friend, who was this time around the villain.
Hello, can you come again? Come again.
So I said, based on what happened,
Yeah.
what was your reaction?
I was not happy. I was not happy because I had to beg. I pleaded on behalf of the lady, but the guy refused. Even I had to report to a senior colleague, and the guy said there's nothing he can do. It's the
So
rule of
he
law.
wanted to punish her,
She
or he
just
ended up
wanted.
punishing her?
He ended up punish her. She ended up punishing her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. And
Thank you.
I appreciate your honesty as well,
Mm.
because these things happen. And even when men do not outrightly condemn it, they
Yes.
look the other way. But
Yes.
you were forthcoming and you were honest about it, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Sisters Nwani, would you like to say something to this before I hand over to Wapa?
Sorry,
Amy.
bro.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody.
Aye.
So, I mean, what I was gonna say is, I think that to curtail this in the workplace, perhaps some of these companies in Nigeria can copy what is being done here in the US. So you can't see anything like this happening here, most companies anyway, because there are rules that guides this kind of
Yes.
behavior. So you can't harass women in the workplace. It's not tolerated at all. If that happens, you will be fired. And depending on what you did, you can actually go to jail for it. So this is not tolerated at all. And it did not just start one day, right? So women rose up through the unions, through whatever they gathered together, they fought for this to happen, and these
Yes,
rules
sir.
were
About women's
implemented.
riot.
Absolutely. And these rules were implemented in the workplace.
Yes,
So
sir.
now, like my job, every year, every single employee has to go through this training, sexual
Sexual
harassment
harassment.
training. Absolutely. So you have to go through it. They teach you what is meant by sexually harassing anybody, in case you say you don't know. So they give examples, um, sharing jokes that make people comfortable, uncomfortable, sharing some tests that are not appropriate in the workplace, touching somebody that makes them uncomfortable, whoever it may be. So I applaud the previous person who spoke, that they, went forward with the complaint, but you can actually do a little bit more. Perhaps that you can, I don't know, gather with the women who work there and see if something can come of it. I know it's very difficult to make any changes in Nigeria, but
In
you can
Nigeria,
start from
yeah.
somewhere. Yeah, you can start from somewhere. It
Yeah.
won't happen one day in the single day, but eventually something may come of it,
Yeah, because
So
when we talk about Nigeria, um, we would narrow it down to private establishments. This kind of thing will not happen in a multinational company because,
okay.
like you said, there are policies, there are training, and there are things. Awareness is there, so
There.
it's about letting these other companies know that, okay, when you employ people, they need to know. The man needs to know where to draw the line. Then the woman needs to know when her rights have been abused, because it all boils down to education. A lot of people are ignorant, and that is why
Yeah.
they keep quiet. If a woman knows that she has the right to report even the owner of the establishment, she wouldn't keep quiet. She wouldn't stomach a lot of things.
Me too.
So,
Me too movement. Yeah.
Mom, I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
let you talk. I'm gonna give the mic to IJ. If she wants you to talk, then she'll let you talk. So IJ, take it away.
All right. Thank you. Mama, do you have a brief stuff
She
to
has
talk
her
about?
hand up. She likes
Okay,
to
go
talk.
ahead. I know. Go ahead. Talk it away.
Mama is
Mama, go
frozen.
ahead.
I'm not talking anymore.
Is she? Okay. All right. Let me start.
Ijoa, can you keep quiet? Let me talk. Thank you very much for giving me the audience to speak. So what I wanted to say, OJ, as if OJ stole it from me, but it's okay. It's about some of these things happen, But when it's not being reported or being picked on, you wouldn't know it's happening. Even where you think you have the policies in place, if the women or the victim, as we'll refer to them in this case, do not say it or do not open up. If somebody's not talking about it, it will be happening and nobody will talk about it. So part of today's program is to encourage women to speak out. If anything is going wrong, speak out. If you see it happening, you can be a whistleblower. Tell somebody, mention it if you're scared of something. So it's important to talk about it. Yeah, go ahead, AJ. Thanks.
And if there's retaliation, you lawyer up. Yeah.
Yeah. OJ, what did you say?
Yeah.
When you see something, you say something.
Say something, yeah.
Yeah. All right. The WPS, which is the Women Peace Security National Strategy, outlines 4 primary lines of efforts to seek and support the preparation and participation of women in decision-making processes, to promote the protection of women and girls' human rights, adjust U.S. international programs to improve equality and empowerment outcomes for women, to improve equality and empowerment outcomes for women, and to encourage partner governments to adopt similar WPS focus plans. So having read these 4 outlines, do you think there's an equal balance of leadership and board positions held by women? Izuchi, I carry along since you're here.
EJ, can you ask answer?
Do you think there's an equal balance of leadership and board positions held by women?
English.
Hell no.
You think there's
Okay,
There is no equal balance. Let me take that away.
No.
Okay, if you look at the 9th assembly.
OJ, help me. OJ, help me.
No, Kachi is burning up. Don't worry.
I am here.
Oh, Esther
Don't
is there.
worry.
Look at Esther.
Okay, so when you look at the 9th assembly of Igbo State House of Assembly, we had only 2 women. Out of the 24 people there, only 2 women. Honorable Uju Onwudiwe and then Honorable Ngozi Obiefule. And in the 10th assembly, there is no single woman. I'm talking from Imo State point of view.
Really?
They have also, yes, no woman at all. They've also released the commissioners list and only 1 woman made it up there. Just 1 woman. So tell me, where is the equality? What are we talking about? Where is the balance and equality?
Diversity comes in,
Where is this equality? It is everywhere, even in the homes. The man comes home and he sits down and watches the tally and the woman hops into the kitchen. Meanwhile, you just came back from work as much as he did. He just sits in the sitting room, watches the tally and says, oh, is my food ready? Like you're not doing anything. You come home, you look at the kids, you take their homework, you do them, you take them to school by way of school run, bring them back home. Then you come home again and somebody's demanding for food. When you know that the man went to work as much as you did. So where is the equality? You want to travel, it takes you like 1 month to take permission from the man you married, and then he wants to leave. He tells you a night before, oh, no, I'm leaving for Lagos tomorrow. Where is the equality? Which one do we talk about and which one do we not talk about? Which do we say and which do we not say?
Keep coming down, my sister. Keep coming down. We'll sort it out.
My dear,
I know they put mouth. Waiting happen. I hear the voice.
Okay, I am just telling you the inequality and that the imbalance in leadership in the decision-making processes. Where are we? We are nowhere. And then why would a man sit in the House of Assembly to talk about gender equality? No, why would a man talk about a woman? That's where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
Does he know anything about being a woman in her menstrual cycle? Does he know anything about a woman carrying pregnancy for 9 months and put into bed? Does he know anything about the woman's mental health? So what are we even talking about? Why would a man sit on that chair that is meant for a woman?
Exactly.
I went to the House of Imo State, what do they call that? A federal Imo State Secretary the other day to the, what do you call this, their office? Ministry of Women Affairs and Vulnerable Groups. and a man is the permanent secretary.
Ashe?
Yes, that's what it is. How do we begin to wrap our heads around that? Okay, I rest my case. Izu
wants to speak. Yeah,
Thank
just be coming down. We'll sort it out. We're on the roll.
Yeah, but
Okay.
generally speaking, I think is also individual difference. Individual differences, because some men are quite understanding and would not want to suppress their women. Yeah, you can take it. Yeah, that's
We're
how
talking
I
about
feel.
leadership
Leadership.
and
That's
board
what I'm
positions.
saying. Leadership.
Held
Some
by
men,
women,
some
yeah.
men want to give some men would want to give their women equal opportunity in the home. That's why I said individual preference. I've seen it. I've seen couples that's,
Okay, let's talk about leadership and in the work-wise.
That's why I
what
asked the
is the
question. That was
statistics?
why I asked the question.
What
Is this
is the
general
statistics?
home politics or
No,
whatever?
you've talked about home, it's all part of it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. What's the statistics?
Yeah. So when it comes to outside, like board
and leadership,
work life and all that as well. Some people also
like in the workplace. In the workplace,
that's what I'm saying. In the workplace, generally women are suppressed. Yeah, generally women are suppressed. One man might want to give the woman
Thank you,
opportunity,
my sister.
but the others would want to influence that particular person that would want the woman to have a voice. So then it's not achieved. You understand? That's for me, that's what I think. So then there's no equality there.
Do you think it's down to men with very low self-esteem and inferiority complex? That's what I think.
Well, on behalf of the women.
In the workplace, I think
that's why they'll think that suppressing a woman makes them stand higher.
Ego.
Yeah, in the home, but in the workplace, which is what we're talking about.
Like, in the workplace, what do you think,
I think when human resources hire people, they look at men as the head of everything. That even when they want to allocate salaries, if a man and a woman has the same position, similar position, the man tends to earn more. I remember I was listening to a radio.
DJ, wait before you go further.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me land. So I was listening to, and Jada Pinkett Smith said whenever she gets roles, they were asking her about like paying men and women. She said whenever she goes for a role and they say, "Oh, you don't need other money," Will Smith makes X amount of money, which is the same thing they're trying to do to suppress women. You know what I mean? So I think it has to do with human resources. They prefer to hire men for the higher positions, like the CEOs and the CFOs, and then the women will be
the HR you've talked about now. Do you mean HR even if it's a female, that it will tend to make that same decision?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So the imbalance.
They rather give a man a position of higher, like the CEO,
inequality. In the inequality we're talking about, it's not down to the structure. I think it's down to individuals, because let's take Okonjo-Iweala, for example. She's attained a very high position.
That's competence.
Now, it may well be that some men has tried to subdue her, fight for her not to be them.
Of course.
Again, it's highly possible that some men has really pushed her to help her achieve that same position.
Exactly.
So it's individual, maybe individual.
No, but we're talking about globally. We're not talking about you or me. You know what I mean? When
we have to look at what is causing that global imbalance or inequality.
It is the thing, because they prefer a man to be in a position of power.
Who is preferring a man? Who?
Society.
Can I say something?
The patriarchal society, the patriarchal.
It's a system. Cultural system.
Please, I think I don't quite agree with that. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Briefly, I worked with National Blood Transfusion Service Nigeria for 11 good years. All the heads in National Blood Transfusion Service are all women.
Healthcare is different.
Dr. Foleka,
because it's blood related.
It's healthcare.
No, wait, just hold on. Dr. Folake Ayo. They have good, my direct boss is Dr. Nyetenu, that all of them respect. But when it came to the head, he said the head should be given to the women. Dr. Dennis Onyetenu, my late boss, when he was the one that's supposed to be the national coordinator, National Blood Transfusion Service Nigeria, but he said let it be given to the women. Dr. Folake Ayo was the first coordinator that served for years. And if I tell you, Dr. Ifoma Obwe, Dr. Smith, they're all
You know
women.
why?
Dr.
You
Bozega.
know why? Did you know
Wait,
why he
just hold
said
on.
women?
Just hold on. Dr. Bozega. Then Dr. Ada Odele, the President Commissioner for Health, Port Harcourt, River State now, Ada Odele. She was the coordinator in charge of Abuja Center. There are men there, but all these women were the ones heading the entire place. So
Yes.
I don't believe the man is suppressing any woman on position issue. For God's sake, if it's a woman that is entitled to be there, so be it.
Benson, let me cut you off. In healthcare, when it comes to healthcare, for every 10 women, there's one man. So healthcare is the only
in doctors, it's not like that.
Okay, Esther asked you how many women are presidents. Esther Jorogena, how many women are ward leaders?
Okay, ward leaders.
Yes,
okay.
Count them.
So
see, can I say
America that we thought was
wait,
very liberal.
Can I say something?
Allow
Can I say something? Can I say something? So many times women they are very close to the hem of affairs, but can I shock you? Their fellow women push them down.
Oh yeah.
Their fellow women push them down.
Absolutely, that's true.
Their fellow women push them down, not the men. You see the women go to the side of the men to support the men and leave the woman that's supposed to support.
Can I add something to that? Yeah, because
go ahead.
Yeah, you're right, Benson. I had a boss a few years ago, and she would not, this was in healthcare, but she would not hire women because she was threatened. She thought that if somebody comes in with a doctorate degree, they may take over her job. So she preferred to hire men. So that's what she wanted to do. Some women are threatened to have women colleagues or be their boss, and they do bring each other down. Even when this lady was running for president here in the U.S., a lot of women were saying they did not feel like
Hillary.
the woman. Yeah, Hillary Clinton. They were saying they did not feel like a woman should be the head of a whole country. It should be a man.
That's what I said, yeah.
And all of these things. So we do bring each other down also. It's not only men. I don't think that men really suppress women the way we say. I think that women also do the same thing. Thank you.
All right. Esther, you have anything to add in? I saw you were
writing. I mean, I was gonna say that it's also because it's like you said, it's fear, but also because of limited space for women to get to that higher level, we're already feeling threatened that if we bring somebody in, they're gonna take that one position. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's that mental battle. But if everybody felt like, you know what, there's space for me, there's space for you, there's space for IJ, there's space for everybody, we will not be threatening. But we know there's one space. So everyone is like, you know what, that one space, I think I deserve it. You think you deserve it. Someone else thinks they deserve it. So we're going to fight. Instead of us to just think, okay, let's be smart. This is a game. Let's get the best person to that job. And when that person gets there, maybe they'll fight for the rest of us. We're not going to do that because the way society is built a structure that we're born in, and to change that, it's gonna take time, but I think like as women we got to keep speaking, we got to keep talking to one another, keep encouraging the young women that are coming behind us and say, you know what, we are better together than apart. Because I feel like, you know what, there's more women in this world than men, yet we cannot get ourselves together. We cannot. We're always fighting. Why?
I mean, if it's one position that's available, the men eventually take that position away from the woman. So you're not going to hire a woman because you're scared the woman will take that position. But then you hire the men who will come in and take your position anyway. So what's the point?
What I'm talking about is that tokens position. Sometimes they'll put women in position. I'm not, it's for a tokenism to make it, seem like they're gender equality. Oh, we've got one woman on the board. We've got this thing. But
Right.
Yeah, and even that
Like
woman
what
that
she said, only 2 women in the Congress. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that woman is not gonna have equal as power as those men on there. You know, it's just tokenism.
Very true.
They will control her, they'll tell her what to do, what to say, and if you don't play ball, they get rid of you and put the next person who's gonna say yes, sir, yes, master.
It's
That's
true.
true.
I think so. I believe that. I believe that. Yeah. iPhone. iPhone, what's your name? Do you have anything to add? Hello? iPhone? Jennifer, can you talk? Jennifer? Hello? All right. For me, like I was telling, if most HR human, it start like at the workplace, it starts with the human resources, except when the human resources doesn't have the power to hire somebody. But most times they always want to reach out for the male resumes, you know what I mean? Because they want the male to be in this position, or this position they're making X amount of money. A man is supposed to get it. I don't want this woman to get it. So it still boils down to what Benson said, that most times women don't support don't try to support each other and stuff like that. So I don't know. Isuchi, have anything more to add? Or Kachi, do you have anything more to add?
No.
Because it's worse in Nigeria.
I think what we'll be looking at, what can we do different, or do we think? It may be what can we do, or what do we think can be done to help shift all this balance?
Women has been fighting from time immemorial.
You can share ideas. What do you think, AJ? On top of your head, what do you think could be a solution to
They
this?
should,
We've been
they
fighting.
should
It's an
stop
ongoing,
fighting
it's
and
an
see
ongoing
themselves
fight.
as one.
That's why no, initially it didn't start. Initially we weren't allowed to vote. First of all, we're allowed to just stay home, make babies, and clean the house. Okay, we started working. They said we can't vote. We fought for. So women have been like, now there's a fight about abortion rights. You know what I mean? I think the fight has been ongoing. Having said that, women have to support each other too. We have to, like Esther said, we have to come, together stronger than, fighting each other. And, like Hillary Clinton, when she was running for president,
Absolutely.
we all thought
I
that
don't,
she would,
eh?
be the first female American president, but see where it landed us. And it was women. And most of those women were mad at her because she still stayed with her husband after he cheated. You know what I mean? But it's a personal decision. Somebody can cheat on me. I can decide to stay, cheat on the next person, and they decide to leave.
So
So
it's that
we
what?
can,
Yeah, what Benson said. It's women not liking each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
period, yeah.
Yes.
So
So yeah,
women, can
most
we
Yes,
times
start
I
loving
agree.
each other,
Well,
supporting each
well,
other?
you look at this harmful widowhood practices. You see that the women are those that carry it out. You see a woman whose husband dies, and instead of her pitying the person and supporting the person, you're there saying, "Oh, you killed your husband." The likes of woman that will come shave her hair and say she sleeps with the corpse, or maybe she drinks the water they used to bathe the corpse of the
yeah,
husband, and all whatnot. So these are women also carrying these harmful practices, violent
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
acts out.
I agree
Benson,
with
hold
you.
on. Benson,
I do
hold on.
agree.
Benson, hold on. Let her finish. Yeah.
When you also look at women in the villages, they do some bylaws. We're there to also review their laws, and the ones that are not nice, we say, oh, strike this out, oh, strike that out. When we are the people doing that to ourselves, then it goes a very long way to say, oh, we should be together, we should be inclusive, we should work together instead of backbiting each other.
Yeah, I always say when you know better, you do better. Most of those women, they don't even know better. But I think when we do August meetings, I know every August all the women go back to the villages, or and they do all these meetings. I think they should start, like you said, start creating bylaws to cut out some practices. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we have to unlearn certain things and relearn what's best for us, because we know what's best for us. Thank you, everybody. Ifeoma, take it away.
IJ, can I say something before you, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, like what you were saying, I'll give you a very perfect example. When my father died, the night that was for Umada, yeah, Umako, as we call them in my place, they brought out my mother, stood my mother, brought out my wife, stood her, and they were questioning her. So when I came out, I watched them. I said, "What are you? Can you name me?" I asked them because how Umada, what can you name me? Why these questions on my mother and my
What questions were
wife?
they being asked? What
Ask
questions?
not here again. I told them to hell that they cannot do it.
What
That they
questions? I don't know
cannot.
anything about that. What questions are
That
they
they
being
cannot.
asked?
Yeah, that they cannot ask them such questions. What kind of questions are they asking her? Okay, he died. What did you do because he died?
Are you
What do you mean?
serious?
My wife packed my wife packed my father in the hospital. FMC was on strike. So when my father died, there was no nurse available to pack my father. My wife came in as a nurse and packed him. So why should you ask her such stupid question? What has she done? Woman that stood up that they were leaving. I told them if they want to leave, they are free to go. But my father will be buried. Whether they are here or not, I don't care. That my father will be buried. Before one of them now came to me and said, Mba, one night will come home to say me, all these things is just nothing. You see, I don't care, but it's too, you people went too extreme.
But
So
Benson, you
sometimes
as I think the men, if the men would have meetings and cut out all this, nonsense traditions, because it would be easier for you guys to cut it off than women wanting to cut it off.
yeah, but you still know that they have their own way, but it's just for the men to tame some of the things they are doing. Because if you don't tame them, they will go ahead with it. I told you, my dad's burial own was not funny. It was not funny to the extent that
I've never witnessed something like that. Yeah, I don't think Uguta people do that, so I don't know.
no, they do. Everywhere where Umada, when once their brother dies, they come for the funeral. They are the people that comes for the funeral
Come,
that
but it's a
stay.
different thing. Yeah, they do. I did both my parents' funerals. They do. They come and they ask you. You give them breakfast. You give them lunch. You sit with them. You put
Good.
mat on the floor. You sit with
Good.
them,
That
and they
night,
cook for
that
you.
night they stay. That night they
That's what they
stay.
do.
Asking for those things is when they
That's what
do
they
it.
No, they don't
All
stay.
those
They
are
never.
even
For both
wrong to
parents, they never
start
stayed
with.
overnight for me. Yeah, so
All those giving them breakfast,
Uh,
lunch, dinner, they are crap.
yeah.
For all I care.
and
Yeah.
they will tell you what they want
Esther,
to.
the
What I
daughters, though, we
understood was
belong
like
there,
they
so
are
they
coming
need
to
to give
spend
us
time with you.
breakfast. We are
They
wives
Yeah,
are
as
they're
well.
coming to spend time with
crap.
you, but
And
they're doing what
For
they
somebody
will
who
tell you what
lost
they want to.
someone, for
yeah.
somebody who lost someone,
Lost some,
you come
yeah.
to demand for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's
did
Keep
a
the
breakfast,
company,
lunch, and then
keep the
dinner. Yeah.
family company.
Yeah, I
that's
think
And
a
you
that,
tell
no
them,
no.
I think that's
you
the
give them
essence.
tea.
Can't afford
Yeah.
it.
If I'm a go ahead.
You give them tea in the morning. Give them
Yes.
tea in the morning. You give them porridge yam with this in the afternoon. In the night, you give them this. They give you their list.
Yeah, they give you
Yeah,
the list. You give
first,
them
I
the
think
money, they go to
it's one
market.
of the
Yeah.
ways where how women can come together and support
Yes.
each other. So we
Yes.
appreciate it without complaining. Leave us there. But what we would do is just to curb all the bad practices or the ugly
But
practices.
not to ask the questions. I don't know about
Ugly
the questions.
practices
I
they need
never
to curb.
experienced
But
the
if
questions.
it's for the positive side to it, we agree with it. Having that sisterhood,
Yes.
that strength in
Yeah.
togetherness and progressing.
I think
So
that's what
that
it was.
takes me
Yeah.
to the next question. This is again obviously work related, but we can always bring it back to
You
work,
can add family
home,
too.
or
You can
outside
add
work.
anything.
So for people in work, do your workplace have policies that support family, just like domestic violence leave? And is it easily accessible? Is this being publicized? Do people know about it? I'll be honest, in
Yes.
my 2 decades of working,
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it. All I hear about is annual leave, bereavement leave, and all of that. It may be that I haven't read it up, but I've never seen it anywhere. So
Like person I
It is
said,
your
if they don't have it,
responsibility.
we have
It
it.
is your responsibility to
ask.
look
Ask.
for it and to ask for it. So you cannot
No,
turn around and say,
no, Esther, no, I don't
No,
know.
but
I don't
Yeah,
Esther,
think
it
so.
should be.
we
If you said, tell people it's
Yeah.
there.
exactly in
no,
Nigeria
listen,
we have a lot of policies like the
yeah.
VAP law, Violence Against Persons Prohibition law. We have the Maputo Protocol. We
Mhm.
have a lot, but the challenge is the implementation. Nobody even knows
Mhm.
about them. Nobody's
Yeah.
reading about them. They are
Because
not
the reason,
implemented.
because what I'll say is, yeah, in this country anyway, every organization has to have those things. They get reviewed all the time. They will tell you that to go to read the policy. Me, when I start at work, the first week I'm in a job, I get hold of all the policies and I'm taking time to read those things because you know what? It's certain things you have to read, like annual leave, certain things you have to read about, harassment, bullying, and all these things. Because if you don't read them and things starts happening, you might end up getting yourself in trouble because you don't follow the right policy. But if you read these things, then you're in a better stand to know that okay, somebody's doing certain things, it's not allowed because you know what the boundaries are in the workplace. For example, in a workplace, I'm not saying you shouldn't give your phone number to your colleagues or whatever, but you're there to work. You're not there to make friends. You can sometimes get close to people, but you have to learn that boundaries, you know what I'm saying, and set those things when you start work so that you don't get yourself into all kinds of issues.
Esther, I will read the policies that are directly related to the role I am doing. But all the other ones, welfare policies, I
Why
don't,
do you not
unless I need it.
But
why
that's
do you
what
not read
she's
it? Why
telling
do you
you,
wait till
Paula.
you read
You
it?
can check your if you can check the vacation time that you have and the sick time you have. Can't you check it? But here in America, Esther, like here in America, it's easier because when you go to locker rooms, they clock stations where you clock in and out for work. You see bulletin boards, like they post it everywhere.
Yes.
And when somebody reports sexual, like as I said, annually we do the sexual harassment in services. But
We
when
don't.
there's an
Trainings.
incident, once we have
Yeah.
an incident, they'll do an ad hoc sexual harassment in service, have everybody sign and everything. So
Yes.
yeah, here in America it's publicized everywhere. You have it in the locker, the
But
men's
this
locker
is
room,
a
the women's
general
locker room,
policy.
and the
It's
clock
not
stations
just to
everywhere.
women.
And the break
Every
rooms too.
policy is,
Break
In
rooms.
general,
applicable
yeah.
to both gender.
But is it,
Yes.
So
do you know
even
if you have it?
listen, I don't think we have it.
Okay.
There might be policies regarding leave, maternity leave, and all that, like what but sexual
No
assault
sexual
and
harassment
everything.
policy.
Are you
A
saying that
man can be
NHS does
assaulted
not have
just like a woman.
policy? Izu, are you saying NHS does not have policy for sexual harassment?
I said,
Which
no, I didn't say they don't. I'm just saying it's not to women. You're talking about women, right? I said
Not
it's
for
applicable to both
everybody
not
can
for
policy have
everybody.
it.
For everybody. It's
for
general.
everyone.
Yes.
Policies for
But EJ,
everyone.
for
Yeah,
the purpose
sexual
of today's
For the
harassment is for
purpose
conversation,
of
everybody.
today's conversation,
yeah, whatever is in place, we want to know how women can easily access it and how women will be protected. So
Ask.
yeah, that for
for
people
all,
of
Ask.
today's
If you
Posted
don't
conversation.
know,
everywhere. I
ask.
don't know about yourself.
If I may, let me answer that question for you, if I may. So, a lot of companies, like Ijama was just saying, have policies in place. Usually over here, during orientation, they go through all these policies. They
Yes.
tell you where to find them, usually. Now, if you don't know and it's
They give
something
you the
that's
handbook,
important to you,
employee handbook.
yeah, then you should be asking questions. So now
Yes.
that we're talking about this, you have to go back to your workplace and say, hey, where is this policy? Where can I find it? And you should be asking where they are and read it up
I'll
for
tell you one
yourself.
story. Yeah, I'll tell you a story that happened in my workplace some years back. So we had this training on solar lone working device for people to understand. If you're working on your own and doing some visits, so they were introducing a gadget. It would look like an
Yeah,
alarm.
alarm. Yeah.
So in case you're in trouble or you're having a difficult conversation, you can press
Yes.
the button and do all of
Yeah.
that. Now, so as part of the training, I now asked the question. They had this one that you could press the button at the back if you think you're not comfortable with the tenant or if you're in a customer's with a customer. If you press that button, the call center will start listening to your conversation and they'll know when to call the police and all of that. So I asked the question, you know me being me. I asked, so now if I take this gadget home and I'm involved in domestic violence, can I still use it? Trust the trainer. He said, absolutely, you could use it. Do you know, in my next one-to-one, my manager asked me, for my, is there anything you would like us to talk about? The trainer said domestic violence. I said, oh my God. If I didn't ask this question.
Because I want to know if you're okay. Because so many
exactly.
women don't report these things. They want to know if you're okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a way of you signaling for help. So asking for help. So you're just following up with your manager. That's yeah.
It's amebo, then go
But
tire.
this is also part of our assessment. If I'm seeing a patient, which I'm very grateful that it's happening now. If I'm seeing a patient and I'm asking them how they are, that's one of the questions I ask. Any violence in the home. And this has just been incorporated in the last few years. It wasn't there before. So when you're talking to your healthcare professional, they really should be evaluating you for violence in the home as well.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
do. They do. They do. But yeah, and again, and in a nutshell, this is workplace we're talking about. If it's accessible, make sure you get hold of it. If you need it, you could find out. If it's not helpful for you, it could be helpful to the next person.
Yeah.
And outside work, if the same policy you find in your workplace would work for you outside work, use it.
Yes.
Do things that could support yourself, help yourself, or help your neighbor. Listen out to everybody, your friends, and find out what is going on. Most people go through things. Let's talk about women. Let me not just say people. Most women go through a lot and they don't talk about it. One, you're always complaining. Two, it may not be what you think it is. Three, are you sure it wasn't what you said that caused it, and all of that?
I hate that. Exactly. What did you say? What did you do? What did you wear? Somebody gets raped. They're asking you, where were you? What did you wear? What does
Ideally, when dealing with investigating domestic violence and all, and then social behavior, it is victim centered anyway.
Of course.
So you have to assume that everything the victim is saying is true until you could prove
until proving yes.
Prove otherwise.
And I mean, even what you're saying, like for example, you're in a house. Let's say you hear your next door neighbor. There's noise going on there, and you see something, and you're concerned. I mean, I think for me, I don't mind calling the police and then them come and sort it out. Because I think if I think I can hear something, I think it's getting heated, and I don't feel safe. I'm not going to go and knock the door and go and ask questions. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes even on the streets.
I think we're supposed to knock first because they might be playing role play. It might be
role play. No. I'm not talking. I'm not talking about you can definitely hear noise and things getting smashed, and you can hear raised voices. You know, it's like the same way sometimes you're walking down the street and you can see a woman getting harassed on the street. You know what I'm saying? If you know that you cannot.
Let's go around. Yeah, it's a good one you've said. Let me start from me. If I hear that noise next door, I'll not call the police.
You will not call the police. What are you going to do?
I'll tell you what I'll do differently. I'll listen in to see how long it's going on for. Then I'll go around and knock. Are you okay? If I'm by the door and I hear more noises and I'm very uncomfortable, that's when I may call the other neighbor.
You're going to call the other neighbor. You have a meeting.
This is
maybe
the wrong approach.
Maybe
the wrong approach. And I'll tell you why. I don't want to get the police involved immediately because it may be something not too serious for them to deal with. And it creates a big problem for them.
I'm not saying to call the police immediately. You have to obviously listen. But if you're getting to a point that you are concerned that someone is going to get hurt,
I'd like to hear what other people think. IJ, what would you do?
Listen, I was in a relationship that we're always shouting and fighting. So you know what I mean? Yeah. But I know police was called by a neighbor one day, and I was hot that day and everything. So at times it's a good thing, like you said. At times it's not a good thing. Because at times it might be something for people who argue over nothing, you know, like me and my ex did. So it might be nothing. It might just be two people that don't listen to each other. But like Esther said, for her to, she said the person has to be in danger for her to think about calling police. So you will know when somebody is screaming for help, and you know, and you hear things, maybe somebody's head got hit or they threw furniture on them. So that one, yes, I might want to. I've never called though.
And when we hear blood, that's okay. Okay, Benson, what would you do?
I think I want to do that. Yeah.
Ben. Oh, you're on mute. Sorry. Unmute yourself.
I had to mute Benson. No, Benson. Benson is
what will you do?
I don't think I will even try to call. I will not.
You will let them deal with it.
I will not. It's their mess. Let them settle
Deal
it.
with it.
I will
Okay.
So what if somebody turns up dead the next day?
Good
The police,
question.
the police, ambulance will come then. Let
Okay.
me go around. I want to go
Okay.
around. OJ.
Wait. Somebody turns up dead
Mm.
the
The
next
next
day.
day that you call.
If
Because it happened.
I've tried before to come in, like I will not call the cops on them. I will try to, if I see the man, maybe try to talk to the
Go and
man.
knock. You go and knock. The
You
fight
said?
is ongoing. Guess you see the man. Where would you see the man? You go and knock at the door.
No, I will knock at the door to try to talk to the man. But if I try to talk to the man and he keeps telling me it's his business, I will not go there again.
Okay. Thank you, Benson. OJ. If you hear your neighbors with too many noise and blah blah bush, what will you do?
Boss.
I'll go and call army, not even police.
Thank you.
If possible.
Person that doesn't want anybody
Don't
screaming
say-
at her. Then she hears somebody else being beaten. She's calling the whole army.
Okay.
Not even police. I'm bringing even the station with me.
Oh well, I will report
Yeah.
to the Human Rights Commission. That's where they'll
What
take it
if
up.
it's happening at night? Would the Human Rights Commission be up online at that time?
Well, they wouldn't. Nigeria, unfortunately, the police
So
will
you do
come.
it in the morning.
Yes, I'll do that. I will
No, they
call
wait
them
till
that
that night
night
now.
for them
If
to
one
go
person
there in
survives
the
it.
morning.
Okay.
Of course, our police
It
won't go
actually
anywhere.
depends. It actually depends on the police that you meet.
Well, they will
go
say
around
it's
first and see,
family problem. That's what they will target. I don't think Nigerian police will
No,
go there.
not when it is obvious that someone
It's
is
only when
in
you
danger and
take
somebody is being beaten up. It's beyond family squabbles.
Now
Because
family
even
now.
when two people
you
are
call
fighting on
Nigerian
the
police.
road, what they call AFRI in police.
She's in Nigeria. She's in Nigeria.
Exactly.
But
You
we're
won't
still
call the
talking about
cops here.
Nigeria.
Nobody.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
that's what I'm saying. That Nigerian human rights is the
What
nearest
would you do?
people I'll report to. That's
Okay.
well. Yes,
Okay.
those are the people I'll call because I know that in the mornings or even the CSOs will barge in there and then go see the man and then take him up and go take him to
So
the
they are more
station.
effective than the police. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, we are more effective than the police.
Those people are more effective. Yeah.
We are more effective.
Who are they?
I
Human
work for an
rights
NGO, and so
What's it
whenever
called?
we hear anything, we have to go there.
What's
Like
it called,
a guy. Sorry,
what's the name of the NGO?
I work for National Council for Women's Societies.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the woman.
So when we had a case of a guy who took the girlfriend who they said was a sex worker, the girl was sick, and then the guy took her in the guise that he was going to get medication for the babe, sorry. And then they had to sleep with her in the process. And the lady died in the process.
Wow.
And the guy, what did he do? He carried the babe in her back and go threw her out in one gutter. So the next morning, the whole people gathered at Madam Maria, saying that they saw a corpse. So the man whose neighbor he's been fighting with blamed it on the neighbor, and the neighbor took it up and went to the police. We had to go see the guy's family. We had to arrest the boy and put him in the cell. And then some of his people are saying he didn't do that or he didn't do that. We now said, okay, for him carrying the girl and throwing her into the gutters means it's criminality. So we're going to sort it out.
Exactly.
And I hear the uncle is some police commissioner. And then we said, stay clear because we will fight till the end. Anything that hurts a woman hurts us. Anything that inflicts pain on a woman inflicts pain on us.
Well done.
So that's where we're going to. Like I even forgot to talk about the female genital mutilation. We do zero tolerance to female genital mutilation every February 6th. The whole of February, I was at the market talking to the women because we have type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. I talked about the type 1 clitoridectomy. I talked about infibulation. I talked about incision. But the type 4 is the one they do not classify as female genital mutilation as circumcision, as they rightly call it. The piercings, the rubbing, they use cream to rub on the clitoris of the child, the pressing with hot water, they're saying, oh, that it will grow to the size of a penis. And I say, if I get you,
I did
you'll
that.
be in for
I
it.
did that.
Yeah. They say, oh, that one is not it. It's not female genital mutilation. Oh, no, it is it. It's not classified. That's why you do it, because it doesn't involve cutting. And some woman who agreed for the sister to come circumcise the daughter died in the process. And she was there at the station with us to talk about her problem and how she lured her sister into circumcising the girl child. Leave the girl child the way she is. And we always say, if you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. It's good to know we've got projects like that support and protect vulnerable people.
Sure. We were in so many schools, girls' schools at Wakoma, the likes of Imo City and all that, sensitizing them, talking about it. Yes.
Yeah,
And
we've
most
had a
of them,
show on
unfortunately,
FGM here in the past.
Do you think we should do another one?
We'll do another one, yeah, because if
so
it's still happening,
Kachi will schedule with you to do another one of the FGM.
If it's still happening, then it's a problem. In my head, I thought that all of this has gone down or it stopped happening. I don't know. It's still
No. There is this Eze we were working with in Ngokbala. She came in to say that nobody circumcises a child. They have boundaries to the Abia State and then with River State.
Uguta doesn't. They do the massage. So,
the massage is female genital mutilation. Yes, it is part of it. It's non-classified. It's not talked about. Type 4. That's what we preach about. That's what most people do here. Even in Uganda here, they use hand to pull it out. Then in Ebonyi State, they even it's a ceremony.
They're trying to elongate it.
I don't know. They pull it out. It goes off with alcohol.
Wow.
Yes.
What?
That's how. Yes.
Shocking.
So in Ebonyi State, they will say after 8 days, a child, and then they'll circumcise the child. They even call people to come and eat and drink, that she's been initiated into womanhood. And you begin to say, what kind of thing is this? Some girl 14-year-old girl took it for her school boyfriend, and they said, it was because she wasn't circumcised. And 5 women had to circumcise her. 5. 2 held her hands, 2 held her legs, and they put her. Yes. For 2 weeks, she couldn't get up. She couldn't walk. She couldn't do anything. A pregnant
she didn't even get infection.
Most of them do. Because a woman who is a circumciser, we even brought to the radio station to talk about it. She was like, the goat's meat or whatever meat. Now, mold with the knife they use. And if it goes blunt, they go to the stones to sharpen them. And they use them to cut. You mutilate the girl child. Yes, that's how.
We have to create a whole new show about. We have to, talk it. We did it.
All through February I was almost in 7 schools and in the marketplaces, and then I was also on the radio station talking about female genital mutilation. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think we are up with our time on the recording, and I'll say thank you very much for being a part of today's show. It's been interesting. There are issues, and the issues are still out there. Inequality. I think we've gone too far in the world that it should stop by now. Nonetheless, women are still making waves. Women are still getting into higher places and doing things. Celebrate ourselves, we celebrate each other. We are happy to be women. Of course, I'm a woman and I must be pampered. So, thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to those of us who are celebrating tomorrow. And I've always said that Mother's Day should be celebrated once and once for everybody in the whole world. I don't know why they keep changing it, Catholic and Anglican and all of that.
I know, right? Tell me about it.
I tell you.